Welcome back to Aquatics Live YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and all that jazz. I'm excited to get going on this project again. We're just kind of like waiting to try to do the video on the weekend. I really wanted to work on it during the week. So this video, we're gonna do the, try to get it started up at the end of the video at least. There's some things I need to change yet. And one other thing we're going to do in this video is the airbox. I didn't like how the other one fit, and I just want to keep the original one fits, but it just I want to swap out and do some modifications with the airbox. And if I keep the original one, I got something I know is going to work, but I got another one. They're pretty cheap anyway, so figured it was just modify a new one. So I got a few changes to do with that I'm excited to do in maybe a future episode as well. So let's get started here. I'm going to get you in closer and we'll get working on just getting the wires hooked back up and just kind of go through and get the hoses and things reconnected up here. I did want to swap out the fuel pump, but that did not come in yet. Or actually, it did come in, but you know how Amazon is, that sometimes they'll ship you the wrong, you order one thing, you get something different. So it is what it is. I'm going to run it with the old one temporarily, and then but that'll get us, we got other stuff to do in future episodes too anyway, so it'll be exciting to get that going, get that replaced. Just I want to go through all the hoses and kind of replace everything. So that'll be, like a next video type thing. But well, we're gonna get started with swapping in the airboxes, swapping out the airbox. I got them, got it removed anyway, but here's the old one. We're good to go. This one works and everything. It is a little old and crunchy now, but it's a good backup, and I'll keep it as is. The weird thing about it is these mounting tabs on here, they don't actually, just this one mounts up, so I'm not sure why it was like that. And this little chamber here is I pulled this hose off and I can't get the stuff to come out of there, but this has got like filled up with grease or something. Probably just over time they get filled up. But there's no like way to access it without cutting it open, so that I can figure out anyway. I thought it would have like a cover you could take off, but anyway, they're cheap enough. I got another one. Cool thing about this one, these the tabs on the back on this one, they actually are straight across, which is lines up with the GY6 transmission piece there. So this one and this one, they should just bolt right on there. And then I'm going to show you, open it up inside here, pop the cover off. It's got this kind of weird air filter thing, but I can run with that for a while. But I do have an idea, is this hole right here is like a 2-inch diameter hole. So that would give me a perfect spot to put like a 2-inch nipple on here, and I could run a pod filter. And the cool thing about that is this cover is big enough inside here that I could, essentially hide the pod filter inside of there, so it looks normal or whatever, kind of hidden. Well, protects it from the elements and all that, but it would be open. I could always pop the cover off and just have the pod filter exposed. But I like having an air box on a bike. It kind of gives the air like a pre-warm or whatever you want to call it. Helps it a little bit, I think, and keeps it out of the elements. And it has the like crankcase ventilation and stuff can get sucked in through this box. So anyway, that's what I'm going to get mounted up first here. All right, This is a pretty simple install here, but I'm going to show you going through the process just in case. Want to get the inlet on the carburetor up here, making sure the screw is somewhere you can access it easily. Get it slid on there. And then two 10 mil, or I'm sorry, 6 mil screws. They have like an 8 mil head on them. Anyway, mount it up to the transmission. One thing to note is on mine anyway, this back piece of the box was hitting up against this the fender here. So I did trim in right here. And I also lowered this bracket down, so this is sitting lower down. It was up a little bit higher. So I lowered this down and trimmed out this corner here to accommodate for the box. I didn't want to leave the fender off, but that gets me a nice clearance on it. And right up here is there that little drain for this. I guess it's like an oil separator portion of the box. So it's going to be kind of a tight fit, but it looks like it'll fit in here. Yeah, we're okay. And I think what I'll do is I'll just zip tie this end of this hose to this carburetor drain line. And there's a mounting spot down here for that, which has the old one still attached to it. So when they put the new I think somebody put a new carburetor on here recently, and they didn't attach the drain hose up to the mounting spot. So it's cool though, and at least I know where it's supposed to go. And we'll just run some zip ties onto this. And I think we'll be pretty decent now. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to take this airbox off again once for the do the CVT part. I'm excited to do that in the future here, get that taken apart and figure out what's going on with this starter. But let's just get her started. I don't want to take too many things apart and not test it in the middle. So I just want to get it back to running condition before I break something else or make a possible modification here. There's the starter relay here, so got to get that mounted back up. So I think that'll be the next thing on the other side, is get the little tab that was mounted to back on there. I made a modification to that as well, so I'll show you what I did to that. All right, so now we got the little mount. This was way longer. I trimmed it down and bent this over, and I have the mount for the starter. It's just up higher. The plan for that is, if we don't put all the lower covers on down here, this thing won't be sticking out. And then I also spray painted it black I need to probably do some touch up on there yet, but anyway, that'll keep it so you can't see, it's not so obvious it was this bright, shiny metal color, you know, like nickel coating. So it's going to get this mounted up, and then the voltage regulator goes on there, and the ground line that comes from the frame to the engine goes on here. So we'll get that all hooked up, and we also have the ground line for the battery to hook up down here on the engine, and there's the ground line, and there's the ground line on the harness, so over here. So anyway, we'll get this all mounted up, and I'll bring you in a little bit closer to kind of show you these wiring once I get them all hooked up here. Oh, and on here, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring a bolt in from the back side for this regulator, and then put a nut on there from the front side anyway, and then it's essentially a nice stud for that ground wire to come over to, and if we need another one, any other connections to the frame, we can do it here. I guess what we'll have to do too is just make sure that this indeed is grounded to the frame. Might have to clean up a connection or something later, but I'm not too concerned with it. I think these bolts have a pretty good bite in there, and there is some exposed metal on the back side here yet that I didn't paint. So this is supposed to go in there. There's like a little holder for it, so I got to get that yet. I don't know where I put that. Oh, let's get the regulator on, and then I'll find the little holder for this. Oop, I almost forgot the ground wire. And I know it's just one bolt holding this on, but that's how it was on there before too, so it'll be fine. Okay, found the little starter cup thing. It's pretty rough, but it'll work, and I guess what I can probably do is I'll just wrap a zip tie around the whole thing and squeeze it together, and that'll be fine. It'd be nice to get a new one of these, but it seems like the only way to get a new one is when you get a new solenoid, so whatever. Put the torn side back towards the inside here, so the good side's out. Hopefully this will just slide in there. Oh yeah, if it's nice and tight, it's not gonna come out of there. Okay, bring you in closer here. Got the grounds here. This ground wire for the frame is hooked up right here. I have just the top of this nut painted black. The backside is bare stainless. This is right up against this metal box, and this is bolted into here, and then this bolted to the frame. So we have a good solid grounding system here. Then this one goes down into here. Kind of get stuff out of the way. We got that ground wire goes in, and then we have the battery ground, and we have the battery ground right here. So that's brought into that same bundle, and then this one over here is the one for the harness that goes up to the headset. So all of them are grounded in right to the block here. So we shouldn't have any grounding issues. The most important deal is to make sure this is really solidly grounded to the battery. That'll make sure your starter's working good. And we got it all dismounted up in here. This is the starting solenoid up on this bracket in here. I don't know how. I think some bikes have this all mounted up on in the headset area, but this one had it down. It had it here. So anyway, we'll get you going on the next step here, which is, we got to get the exhaust mounted up. Forgot about that. Okay, so we lost a little bit of audio, so I'm just gonna fill this in the best I can. We got the exhaust gasket here, and not a whole lot going on. A nice and thick gasket, and get her popped in here. We kind of got to give it a little bit of angle to get this to go in, and get it to kind of stay on there. And trying to do this, without it falling down. Anyway, first time I did, it took me a couple of times to get it so it stayed in there, but we got her. And yeah, essentially just get the pipe mounted up. The nuts that we got that came with this are that flanged nuts that have the serrated edge on them. So that turns out really good. Not going to use the washers and all that stuff with it. Just use the nuts here. So that one turns out pretty decent. I guess if it's a problem later, I'll change it up. But there's with that thick gasket, there's not a whole lot of threads to grab, so it's kind of weird to see those out for this. So I think we'll be fine. And get them all tightened up, and let's just kind of like wrist action, though. I'm not gonna get them any tighter, not gonna grab the end of the handle at all. So, that should be good enough. Give her a little tug test, and I think we're good to go, Then we just got to wrap up the wiring here. That's the CDI. Get that hooked up on the tab and get her slid on there. And that should be pretty much it for the wiring. We got all the plugs in. I got the regulator plugged in, and all the harness plugged in. Okay, guys. Anyway. We got the battery here. So we're just gonna hook that up, and we gotta hook up the fuel pump yet. I wanted to replace this, but we'll get the old one hooked back up, and that line's gonna be empty, but as stiff as a board. But anyway, vacuum line. Okay, vacuum and fuel hooked up. Just kind of lay it in here like that for now. Coils hooked up, spark plug. So we just got to hook up the battery. I'll get this screwed together, and we'll jump back in here in a second. Here's the one for the front, And here's the starter one. This nut won't come up to the top. Use the zip tie to poke in there. Okay, battery's hooked up. All right, let's give this guy a try, hey? I think we got everything hooked up. I'll turn the key on. Oh, we got gauges on. I don't know if you can kind of see the. Anyway, we're at 12 volts here, showing GAT fuel. So I think we just start her up. Oh, gotta squeeze the handle. And uh-oh. What else is going on? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I hooked up this, but here's the wire for the solenoid here. And there was like an extra one that I didn't know. Here we go. There's the one I didn't know what it went to. Here we go. Get those connected up. Like maybe I can do this with one hand. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give this another try, eh? Well, it's gonna take a bit because of the fuel line, of course. But hopefully it at least cranks now. What? Oh. That shouldn't have started. We got her. Guess it still had some fuel in the bowl. Surprised. Boy, that really sucked up fast too. Yeah, sounds good. Idling good. Oh, look at that. Got the RPM gauge working. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Dang, heck yeah. Let's check the temperature on it now. We're gonna get into the temperature. 61 degrees Celsius. 62, so it's going up. That's gonna be great. I can see that right from the driver's seat real easy too. Awesome. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna like the RPM. Oh, you can see the voltage of the battery too. That's what the fourth one is. I couldn't think of that before. Oh, that's 1730, 17. I don't know why it goes to that CN, but anyway, looks good now. 17. Yeah. Bouncing it all a little bit. I don't know if it's like perfectly accurate. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'm super happy that it's running, so next video we got to get the brakes working, and we're gonna get that fuel pump replaced down here. We'll probably do work on the airbox mod here, and Then we can get some of the plastics put on, hopefully next video too. So that'll be nice. Just get it, like, go through the zip tying stuff. We'll zip tie it down, you know, get all the front end zip tied together, because we know it all works now. And we can work through, start installing plastics on the front. I'm really happy I got that brake line mounted up inside of here now too. So I'm pretty happy with the results so far. It's going to be all nice and tight. I like that. So thanks guys for watching, and see you in another week or so. Take care. Ah, shoot, I forgot one more thing, guys. I want to, let's try out the horn. It's got the Filipino, Philippines horn system installed on it. So let's see if this works. It's gonna be kind of loud, so I'm just gonna do it once here. But hopefully we can hear one of the tunes. Oh, maybe, oh yeah, I have the key off. Okay. All right. All right.